Hey everyone, welcome back to another replay review. So we got a lot of requests for 3-player games, and so I had one submitted here which I'll go ahead and take a look at. So we're looking at it from the perspective of Kuniziel up against two other players which are all strong or expert level, so should be a pretty good game to look at. Um, Here we have the choice between Mining Guild and Saturn Systems, and a decent hand, not great, not bad. What I would say about 3-player is it has different dynamics. The biggest change between 2-player and 3-player is that you kind of have to ride the wave, so to speak. Because in a high-level 3-player game, you're not going to all be after the same goals. Some of you are going to be pursuing an engine, some of you are going to be pursuing terraforming, and your goal is to try and match with the other people. For example, if you have two players who are terraforming, then it's likely that one of those players is going to win because the pace of the game is matching the pace that they want, because two people are going for terraforming. In the same way, if you have two people who are going engine, then the person who's trying to terraform is probably not going to win because the pace of the game is going to be too slow for them to win. Now, these are just general principles. It's not a hard and fast rule. Obviously, if the terraformer gets every terraforming event in the game and the engine players find nothing, then the terraformer is going to win. But in general, when you're playing the game, you should try and match the tempo of what the other players are doing to align with them. Other things that you should know about 3-player is that heat is not very good. That's because with the deck going through a lot more, you're going to find more of the asteroids, and they're going to be a lot more picked and played. And so because of that, heat is not going to get as much value as it normally would. And likewise, as the greeneries are going to be more contested, generally speaking, which means that the typical trend that you will see in a 3-player game is oxygen and oceans going up fast and heat going up slow until it's all dumped via asteroids at the end. Now, again, this is dependent on your skill level and player and all that, but that's the general principle of what you'd expect to see in these kinds of games. And once again, my panel did not get fixed, so alright, let's do that. So in a 3-player game, cards that benefit from more players are better, so Saturn Systems does get slightly buffed in a 3-player game because more chances of Joves being played. But with this hand, I would still take the Mining Guild, and the reason for that is Mining Guild still scales really well, and we don't really have a lot for Saturn in this hand. So I would normally, in a 2-player game, say, oh, Black Polar Dust is completely fine to play as Mining Guild because, it gets you your heat production and it's important for game control. But in a 3-player game, I probably would not bother with Black Polar Dust as Mining Guild. It hits your income, which is really unfortunate, and we would really like to have income as Mining Guild because we're kind of poor. I'd rather just SP the ocean, to be quite honest. With this hand, I think I would pick 4 cards. That way we can open with lava flows get a tile down. So I would lean towards Arctic Algae, Lava Flows, Dev Center, and then it's interesting on if you would want to go with Birds or something like Capital or Corporate Stronghold. These are some good steel dumps, which are very nice. But as I said, in a 3-player game, oxygen tends to rise pretty quickly. And so it's really nice to have a guaranteed 1-point animal you can use to hit your opponent's plant prod and then have some passive points coming in while the heat track stalls. So I think I would take Birds as my 4th card. But let's see what Kuniziel chooses to do here. Okay, so he keeps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. 7 cards is too many cards, especially as Mining Guild. I understand the rationale behind them, right? Steel dumps and ocean in order to help Mining Guild production, but it's too slow. It's just too slow for this setup right now. Then he changes his mind. Then he takes 4 cards. I like this a lot more because we really want to try and get the lava flows down as early as possible. I would not keep Black Polar Dust, as I've said. I think investing in that heat production is not really good when it's hitting your income as Mining Guild in a 3-player game. I would replace it with birds, personally. But that's fine. It's much better than the original setup that was chosen. So we're up against a Helion and a Terractor. So let's see what they've all got. Opens with lava flows on the titanium. Love it. That's what I would do as well. An early tech demo. Okay, that's usually not very good. It usually means his hand is kind of bad and he's searching for cards, but I would not go wasting your money on an early 8 cash for 2 cards at the beginning of the game. And Protected Valley. So he found something, I guess, from that tech demo. And Protected Valley on 2 cards is perfectly reasonable here. Yep, which is what he does. Okay, early Pets and Terractor. Pets is okay. I don't love it as a Gen 1 play, but it does get better in 3-player as you kind of have to start fighting over real estate a bit more. And if he happens to have like Cartel or Miranda Resort, then it becomes a lot better. Bribe Committee, that's fine. Good development play for Terractor. Flooding on Titanium, that's fine. That's a little bit of a heads-up play versus Mining Guild taking one of the oceans there, but it's fine development as well. I don't hate it. Then the mine, okay. Alright. I really like Big Asteroid. I really like Solar Wind Power. Solar Wind Power helps a lot with turning on the Dev Center, and it is science. But passing Big Asteroid when you have Arctic Algae in your hand is really painful. We're passing to Biter, so we can assume that he will take whatever we don't take. And then he'll probably get Search for Life, or I don't know how to pronounce that name. We'll call him Koj. We'll probably get Search for Life. My instinct as Mining Guild is that we're power starved, and I would go after the Solar Wind Power. But certainly Big Asteroid is also very good in this situation. And he takes Big Asteroid, and I think that's completely defendable. Okay, Protected Habs. So Solar Wind Power would have been rewarded as we now get Protected Habs. In a 3-player game, I think Protected Habs is extremely good because it now protects you and forces all the hate to go towards other players. Asteroid Mining Consortium's obviously pretty annoying. But no one has Titanium Prod yet. And Mangrove is a very good scoring card late game, but I think Protected Habs is too much value here, so I would take that, which he does. These cards aren't very good. I would take the Ore Processor because it's the best of these. He takes a release of inert gases, which I don't agree with, but I mean, I don't think Ore Processor's doing too much either. So of these, I would keep the first 2. I would not bother with these other 2. He keeps mag field generators. So this is probably hoping a little bit too much. I think what he's thinking is, I'm Mining Guild, I need steel dumps, I'm going to take this card. The problem with Mining Guild is that you're always kind of power starved. And a card that takes 4 power, even harder to play. So I would not keep this card. It's too speculative, and in all likelihood, we're never going to get the power in order to play it. So that would be a no for me. The other 2, yes. Okay, so as predicted, green took the other card, so Solar Wind Power. That means that yellow has Search for Life, so try and keep that in mind. Okay, Lagrange, that's a little scary. That says he has some sort of science payoff, or his hand's still dead. He's looking for something. Acquired company, viral enhancers. Okay, hate to see the viral enhancers. Arctic Algae comes down, perfectly reasonable. Design microorganisms, okay. So he's got some science, he's got some plant prod. We have a good target for our big asteroid a little bit later on, but can't really play it right now. Alright. As much as I would like to play Vesta Shipyard, you kind of can't because you know you passed the Asteroid Mining Consortium, and so that means that card is kind of off limits. We're passing to Terractor as well, so I would take the Business Network, not giving the guy with 1 card and discount to Earth tags, Business Network. Business Network is okay for us, though we'd really like Power and to just play Dev Center instead. But I would definitely take this. Which he does. Okay, Escarpment. I would not want to get hit by Escarpment, so I would not pass it over to Terractor, but it's a little annoying because we're passing the guy with Viral Enhancers Plant Prod, which I don't love either. And so he takes it for that reason, but if I were a mining guild with like 5 steel prod at this time, I wouldn't care. Go ahead, hit one of my steel, I don't care. But when we only have 2 prod, it's so weak. I would definitely want to keep my steel prod up because that's kind of the thing that we're playing towards right now is steel scaling. Mining area is fantastic. We love to see that as mining guild. And then Vesta came back. Okay. Certainly means that everyone else is kind of shy about getting titanium prod as well, meaning maybe no one kept AMC, but I would still say they probably kept it, and so I would not keep this. I'd keep the mining area for later and use it to just plop down some more steel to just get more steel prod, work towards builder and whatnot. Adapted Lichen seems too expensive here. Business Network seems okay, though I'd really like to just get Power online, which is why that Solar Wind Power I think would have been the card for us previously. But I'd keep 2 here. And he just keeps 1. That's a little reasonable, but I think Mining Area has so much upside, especially having passed Escarpment, that you should gamble on it here. And he opens with Cartel. It's quite good for him. Nice production. And then, yeah, it's the Escarpment. So we knew we'd get hit by it if we passed it, so that's why I think that was a bit of a mistake to pass for Adapted Lichen. Alright, so we play the Black Polar Dust to get our steel up. It's Gen 3, and we have 3 heat prod. That's just not really doing enough. I would expect this game to end by Gen 10, Gen 11. So, it's not really that much heat. I think it's just a little too slow and expensive. Now we're getting -2. We got 1 from the TR, but just the minus cash is going to hurt us as the game goes on, I think. Protected Habs is nice, though, protecting our 4 plants. And then here comes the Deimos down, so protected just in time. So that's a little sooner than I would normally want to play that card, but he did get the 2 heat prod there, so it's not a non-zero value. It's decent. And gets him a heat bump next gen as well, blows up 4 plants, so I think that's reasonable. And everyone passes, and we're on to the next one. Alright. So you really would like to have advanced alloys, but realistically speaking, it's not doing anything for you. You already have more steel than you can spend right now. Energy tapping would be really annoying if we had gone to solar wind power, but I think you always have to take restricted area as mining guild here, and this is where mining area would have been nice as well, right? Restricted area up here on the steel, and then mining area on the steel, that you just got a whole bunch of production to help accelerate our game. But anyway, you gotta take the restricted area here. But he takes the energy tapping. I get what he's going for. He's going for the 1 power prod from Biter there, but so what? It's not that useful to anyone else right now. Biter is probably just going to cut it. If it goes to Terractor, they might use it on Biter, and then you're safe to get power later on anyway. The card draw is just better, and as mining guild, you want the tile anyway. So I think that's a huge mistake on our protagonist's part. And then you definitely take small animals, because oxygen goes up quickly. Someone has plant prod, we want to hit that. He takes rover construction. Rover construction makes some sense in that we have a whole bunch of steel and we want to spend it, but small animals has a bunch of upside here that I would not want to pass it. Doesn't look like anyone's going to Joves, so I think it's okay to pass again. I would just take imported nitrogen, which makes sense. He does that. We get colonizer training camp back, in all honesty. We have a lot of steel and no way to spend it. I'd consider keeping that if I had the restricted area and the mining area as well. But since we don't, I'm a little more hesitant to keep it. But I guess we keep the energy tapping here to hit Biter, but it's not great. It's just meh. We keep the steel cards and energy tapping. Okay. So we tap them to get our energy. Go ahead and put down the rover construction. That's fine. Probe comes down. Gene repair comes down. Okay, he's just going some vague science, but it doesn't look like he has any real science payoff. So this is overall kind of weak, what he's doing. I don't think he's in a particularly strong position, even though he is technically in the lead right now. Okay, yellow plays plantation up there. That's a strange spot. I don't really understand that at all. Yeah, it's, kind of 6 cash back, but unless you have a city, you're now stuck in a not very good area. So I don't like that unless he has a city. Okay, colonizer, business network. Okay, business network's not good. We're already at -2 prod. Going to -3 prod is just too much. We don't have the prod to support more card draw and losing more prod. Not a play we can support here. Helion's doing their best to push heat, making me look like a liar from the beginning, when I said that's usually the last parameter. Phobos is definitely a skip, and we're done. Look at these cards. Oh. So, we're passing to a guy with 2 science tags. We have 1 science tag. We can't really support more card draw, and yet do we really want to give this guy AI Central? That could be kind of dangerous when it looks like our opponent is also going science, but he's also terraforming. It's hard to say. But GIA is also like the best card in the game, and it has Arctic Algae value as well, so I really like playing GIA as well here. My initial gut reaction is it is okay to play take Giant Ice Asteroid here, but the problem is you're kind of stuck in that you're now having a Helion that is not really terraforming. They're really going more of an engine. And then this guy, which is, again, kind of a mid-range. And now if you're giving him AI, I think the game's going to go really long. And I'm not sure that we are in the best position to fight that, considering that there's like a 10 production difference between us and our opponent. I think taking GIA is defendable, and if we had played things a little differently, I might have gone that route. But looking at the game right now, I think you kind of have to take the AI Central because you're going to be in a bunch of trouble if this guy gets the 3rd science tag, and then these two are kind of stalling out the game, and you're unable to do anything because we have kind of a bad hand right now. He takes the Giant Ice Asteroid, and I think that's defendable, but we're going to have to now be very slim with our play, and we're going to have to try and push out the game as quickly as possible. Okay, these cards don't really matter. I would take Microbes, probably. Eos is okay. I don't think either one matters there. Alright, he takes Microbes instead. Perfectly reasonable. Okay. Cannot give him the science tag. You just passed him AI. For the rest of the game, we have to be on science defense when we're drafting to yellow here. Which he recognizes. That's good. An invention contest comes back. Crazy. If we didn't have so much minus prod, I would say keep the invention contest, but I think we just need to keep Giant Ice Asteroid here, and we can play our dev center and start drawing, and that's probably going to be it. Okay, keep 3. That's too much. We are on the clock now since we passed AI Central, and so keeping these cards is just too much for how poor we are. Okay, so green has a restricted area on the card. Makes sense. So you can see now how the alliances have kind of shifted now. He's still going his engine. Now that he has AI Central, he's going to go kind of an engine. That leaves us in this really awkward spot where we kind of have to be engine as well, but our production isn't really good enough to support it. We only have one card draw. It's not good. Okay, he has advanced alloys. Uh-oh. There's the immediate AI Central with alloyed steel of 13 banked up, so pretty easy AI coming online for our opponent. Research Outpost, you love to see that. That's great. So we're definitely playing that. Where you play it is an interesting question. Since we've kind of aligned to a rush, I kind of would go here since we took the GIA. But down here on 2 steels, also not bad, just because we need more production. Which he does. I think it's defendable, though I'm not like super enthused about it either. I mean, I think we've kind of just signed our own death warrant here because we don't have the production, and the game's just going to stall out now. Okay, he must have drawn Olympus Conference from his restricted area. That's always a bad feeling. He plays the mass converter. Alright, so a lot of prod now for Helion. Deep well heating into AI Central. Yeah, that's a scary play. Yeah, might as well play the Dev Center and draw. The problem is that now we're drawing cards that we don't have steel production for. I'd have liked to have, since we're so poor, to have paid for Dev Center with mostly steel. The fact that we can't because we had to play the Research Outpost is just a little disappointing, and more reasons why the microbes I don't think were particularly good. Media Group, though, you love to see that. That might save us here. Okay, and then yellow immediately has ecological zone. Okay, that's brutal. Personally, if I were in yellow's position, I would not have done that there. You're still locked in this area. I'd have done it over here on the steel. Yes, you miss out on 2 cash, but you have access to a much better section of the map. I think that's probably a small mistake, but I still think yellow's position is the best because they have viral enhancers, Ecozone, alloys, and AI Central now. It's looking very good for them. And then grass, okay. Gets them a conversion, which again, now they're converting in just not so great areas. Down here would have been better for these conversions. But it's a minor quibble, whatever. Great cards. Mining Guild would love Quantum Extractor, but imported hydrogen is too good, and we have Media Group to support it. It's got to be imported hydrogen here. But he takes Quantum. That is a gigantic mistake. You cannot take Quantum over imported hydrogen. Imported hydrogen is too much for you with Arctic Algae. Quantum, I'm not even sure it's coming on this game. We have no science tags in hand. We're still 2 away. Like, it's just not good enough. Honestly, given this guy, 5 prod satellites is not something I enjoy, but bushes is so close and we have protected habs. I kind of still lean bushes over satellites, but this is a really disgusting choice to have to make here. Yeah, I think I lean bushes, but satellites is really good here. You hate to see it. Great Dam. Your mining guild, you want to have some power. The other Space Mirrors isn't a card. Quantum's just too expensive. We can't really do it. I would just take bushes, and that would be it for me. He takes Great Dam, which is defendable, certainly. But with Industrial Microbes already in hand, we already have 2 power. I'm not convinced we need the Great Dam at this point. But it's okay. Okay, Space Elevator. Space Elevator Gen 6, that is a bit slow. but it does give him a little bit of production. It does have some alloys, so it's okay. I assume this means he also has Asteroid Mining Consortium, because otherwise I think he'd be a little more hesitant about playing the Titanium prod. But maybe he also thinks just Gen 6 means that it's not worth worrying about anymore. We draw Building Industries. It's fine. It's not really what you want to play as Mining Guild, though. Cupola City, yeah, we're a little happier about that one, I would say. But we're still in a state where we're not doing anything, right? Like, we're not terraforming, we're not really engineering, we're just kind of stuck here because we have such a drag on our cash. We don't really have the cash to overcome it. Okay, so green now has anti-grav, and so now we're really stuck. Our engine's terrible compared to our opponent's engines. So we are just kind of dead in the water now, unless we find some miracle cards to help save us. We have worse prod, we have worse cards, just not where we want to be. Imported GHG, yeah, it's fine for Helion. Just one actioning there, yellow. Okay. Industrial microbes, sure, you can play it. It's just, again, slow. It's too slow, in my opinion. Gen 6, paying, 11 cash to get a power and a steel prod, like, ugh, so slow. Raise heat, okay. Our opponent's drawing cards and optimal arrow breaking, okay. So let's spot the mistake here. Green played imported GHG, then they drew their card, then they played optimal arrow breaking. You should have played it in the other order. You should have drawn your card, you'd have found optimal arrow breaking, and then you'd play the imported GHG afterwards. So, mistake from our opponent there. Always draw before you take your other actions, unless something is pressing. Media group, invention contest, like, you can, but it's so slow. You already have too much card draw and not enough production to support it. We don't really need more card draw right now. Well, let's see what we find. Okay. Kind of garbage. Algae's the best card, I'd suppose, but not one that's really looking like we're coming online anytime soon. Our opponent plays the satellites. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Great card. Great card. Even greenhouses isn't bad here. We're passing to yellow. Yellow already has 3 plant tags, so you can't really give them nitrogen-rich asteroid. But also, at this point, it looks like it's a clear yellow win anyway. I think Koj has got too good of a setup, is too rich. You might want to just cut your losses here and play for second at this stage of the game. So you pass him the good card and take like Noctis City for ourselves, and just use that as one of our steel dumps and build our greeneries around that. It's a reasonable plan. We can kind of play for nitrogen-rich asteroid. There's a chance we'll get greenhouses or trees back, but I'll be honest, it ain't looking too good that we're going to be able to play it. We're still so poor. That giant ice asteroid that we took those generations ago, yeah, we're nowhere even close to getting that online. But he still takes the best card. Definitely take the Noctis Farming now. You need the plant tag for NRA. Aquifer pumping. Okay. That's a huge mistake. Pumping with what? We have no money. It's Gen 7. How many generations do you think are going to be in this game that we're going to be able to pump? I know we have some synergy with Arctic Algae, and if it was like Gen 1, I'd say, go for it, dude. Pump the oceans and get your steel prod up from getting the mineral oceans, then get the ones in the middle, and we'll be okay. But Gen 7, no. Too slow, too late. Noctis Farming all the way to play towards NRA. And then he undoes it, and then undoes it, and then Then he takes the Noctis, so thank you. I'm glad that you saw the error of your ways before confirming it. Noctis farming is definitely the correct pick. Uh, these cards don't matter. We have protected Habs. I would take Ganymede Colony just to preclude a Jove threat, but neither of them matters. We get Noctis back, which I thought was a bit surprising. I find it odd that trees and greenhouses were higher valued than Noctis. I think Noctis is one of the best cities in the game, so I think that was a bit weird from Yellow. If I were Yellow, I would have taken Noctis City 100%. But that's okay. I would. We're too poor. I would only keep 2. As much as I'd like to keep Noctis City, I think we can't afford it. You just have to keep 2 and try and be a little bit lean. But we keep 3. I mean, I get it. They're all great cards, but I think it's just too expensive. We're still so poor. We can't do anything. Energy saving is not what you're looking for. Kelp farming is. You definitely buy the kelp, but now we're even more constrained by oceans, and we want to play the giant ice asteroid even more, and we still can't because we are just so poor. Opponents find Earth Office from the card draw, selling metals for space. Alright, Kupala's fine, but where are you playing it? Over here on the standard spot? Over here for 1 point and some access to oceans? It's just not really going to pay for itself at this stage of the game. Okay, I mean that's fine, but it's not really doing much. It's 3 cash prod that we spent, 15 cash on. So it's going to take 5 gens to pay off. Gen 12 isn't likely going to happen. It's fine for scoring some points, but I would rather just wait and pay for it with more steel. And I'd rather be using the steel towards, the Noctis farming with the bushes so we can consider the NRA. This just isn't going to do anything to advance us towards our objective. Now what it does do is it does get him the 8th building tag for Builder, and so Milestones haven't really been talked about so far. But it looks like it's going to be green that's going to have the option of taking Planner if he wants it. Yellow looks like they're going for Gardener, and it looks like we have Builder, so that's how the Milestones look like they're shaking out. Generally speaking, in a 3-player game, the Milestones are always going to be kind of split between 1, 1, and 1. That's not always true, but it does tend to be the pattern I've seen. Usually when someone goes for 2 milestones, it's overextending too much for the milestones, and then they lose because they went too focused on milestones and not on setting up their strategy. That or their strategy was just busted, and then they get 2 milestones naturally, and then you're all kind of cooked. So I would usually plan on just 1 milestone in a 3-player game. So he claims Builder. I hate it. Sorry to put you down like that, but there's no real need for going for the Builder right now. We really need to be saving our money to play these cards instead. Green gets Heather in the Food Factory? Okay, Green. Don't play Food Factory, dude. I know you're like, oh, I'm an engine. I'm going to set up my engine, but Food Factory is not an engine. That's just a bad card. But, I mean, I guess they're both discounted by 2, but don't do that, guys. Yellow does Convoy from Europa? Sure. We're happy to see that. Oceans coming down. Helps our Arctic algae. Helps us with kelp and algae. We're loving it. SP City? Yeah, that's a little weird. But I guess you want places for their greeneries to go around, so sure. Wouldn't have had to do that city, though, if you'd just done the ecozone over here to begin with, though. You've already naturally had access to all these areas. Magnetizer alert. Not bad with Mass Converter, but it's a little expensive. I don't think it's that good in this situation, but it is interesting. Comet. Okay, we love having our protected Habs because we are safe. And we love it even more because it looks like we're getting closer to bushes and algae and kelp, so we got a way back into this game, maybe. I don't really understand the point of playing the Comet down there and then converting up there. I personally wouldn't greed it. I'd just go for the 4 cash back, but maybe they have another plan to get another ocean. Yellow takes Gardener. Makes sense. Definitely you want farming in this position because temperature is going up and we have some cities and we want to score. The power supply consortium you don't want to get hit by. Green is threatening it, so it could turn off our dev center, but whatever. We just have to take the best cards for ourselves at this point. We can't care so much about what we're passing. We're kind of desperate. But he takes the power supply consortium. I understand why. I just think it's a mistake. We love permafrost here. It's online right now. It's an ocean for us to play with Media Group to get some plants. Yes, snap pick that, definitely. It was funny. I mean, the cards don't matter. I would take IO just because NRB literally doesn't matter at all. But it's whatever. Yeah, so I don't agree with the power supply consortium, but I understand it. Definitely just keep permafrost, nothing else. Yep, which he does. That's good restraint. Green is drawing cards, but it looks like green has not kept cards for planner, which kind of leaves a milestone wide open. We have some possibilities of taking it ourselves with Noctis City and just grabbing the mayor, which is worth considering, but I think we need to just pursue our terraforming here. Our engine's just not good enough, and overextending for mayor is going to bite us in the end of the day. Yeah, it looks like we're going for mayor. Yeah, that's too expensive. I understand it. I hate it, is all I can say about that one. We turned off our dev center, that we could turn it back on with Great Dam, I suppose, but now we're again having to use our steel dumps in ways that are not using steel. So I really don't like that. We're overextending for a milestone. We don't have the production to support it, and we're just going to get crushed by our opponents now. Heat's going up. Looks like ocean bonus is coming into play pretty soon. Uh-oh, Mars University is always a bad time. But at least the big science payoffs are already here with green, so we don't have to worry about it enabling any more science payoffs. But Landlord is funded. That's good for us. That we should get second on that. Maybe first if we actually get around to nuking all of his plants with Big Asteroid and Giant Ice Asteroid and the NRA and the kelp farming, but we can't. We've been spending all our money on stupid cities and not using our power cards. So we have power cards. We should play power cards. We haven't, and I think we're going to pay for that. Definitely convert here on the steel. Get our steel prod up. I like that a lot. Play permafrost. That's fine too. Now we can convert on 2 plants and get another conversion, so that's fine. 1 plant. Okay, that's still fine. We can still play bushes or algae and get that plant production up. I think that makes sense. Subres comes down. Oh, we're so close to kelp now. Artificial lake. Oh no. Okay. So it looks like the oceans are flying right now, which, as I said, tends to happen, which means this giant ice asteroid that we took all that time ago and passed the AI Central, we still have never found the time to play it because we've been so poor, because we played BPD and Business Network and never found the time to develop, and because we've never developed, we could never afford it, and now that we've never been able to afford it, it's about to become useless, and we just gave yellow AI Central for nothing in return. So, yeah, it's about to get really bad for us, I think, if oceans continue at this rate. Deco with Ecozone, yeah, we're definitely cooked. We're playing for third here for sure, for second for sure. There's no way we're keep catching up to yellow at this rate. Immigrant City, I mean, yeah, maybe. Okay, 4 cash back, that is nice. I do like that. Though, I'd have liked even more if we could have gotten 6 cash back, but it's fine. Imported hydrogen, that should have been our card. Oh, that'd be so good. But yeah, GIA is definitely dead now. That card just ain't happening, which is just tragic. Oxygen bonus up for grabs. I think yellow will probably just take it. Okay, Eos. I'll be honest, I don't really love the Eos that much, but you got Ecozone and Decomposers, so it's fine. It gets you what you need. And now you convert. Yeah, getting the bonus there is brutal as well. So that's one of the other things about 3-player, is that you have to think a little more about what your actions are going to do for others. In this case, green doing his conversion basically means that now enables yellow to do their conversion, which is one of the reasons why Protected Habs is so good, is because you can just sit on those plants without any fear at all. And then when the time arises, just spin the 2 plants to get the 8% bonus. Definitely don't want Simbi. So something we could have done, which was interesting, is raise heat, SP the asteroid, and take the ocean bonus. But I think we're too poor for that. We kind of just need to turn on kelp farming, I think. So I think we need to just sell 2 cards like energy saving and building industries, and just play kelp farming. But we raise heat? Oh, for what? We're just giving green the ocean now, and green is the last person we want to give the ocean to. They're who we're fighting with over second place, because I can already tell there's no way we're catching yellow here. Alright, so green puts down the ocean and plays trees. That's pretty good for them. Yellow stalled for some reason. That's a little weird. We'll just convert and play the kelp farming. Good, I like that. Green sells 3 cards to play livestock. Okay. It's not the best animal, but if you have imported nitrogen or large convoy, it's okay. Green does SP asteroid. I don't understand that. I mean, let's say green. Yellow does that. I don't think Koj is winning by so much that they can afford to spend 14 on SP asteroids. So I don't really understand that play, but maybe fish. Maybe that's what they're trying for. I don't know. We'll see. Indentured workers, fish. Yeah, so that is what they're going for. SP asteroid's not worth it, in my opinion. But okay, it's fine. With eco and deco and viral, it's pretty good. Alright, so let's look at the tragic state of things. We have 3 heat bumps left on the track. We first picked the big asteroid, we first picked the giant ice asteroid, we first picked the NRA, and we've played none of them, which is a disaster, right? These cards were so good that we said we need to keep them over other cards that our opponents have put to use already, because they're going to enable us to get a bunch of points and hit their plants and get us value, and GIA is basically dead. Big asteroid is close to dead. Nitrogen-rich asteroid also close to dead. So this has been a unmitigated disaster, and it's mostly because we spent money on card draw we couldn't afford and kept too many cards. We needed to have been leaner. So yeah, unfortunate. But right now the scores are close because we got 2 milestones. But like I said, when you overextend for milestones, it usually comes back to bite you later on. Of these cards, I would take Shuttles passing to yellow, but none of it really matters. Yeah, I love investment loan. Definitely take that. Toll Station's funny at 7 prod here, but it's Gen 9. It's not worth it. If it was like Gen 6, I'd consider the Toll Station over the investment loan. Yeah, these cards are garbage. Take the Lunar Beam, I guess. Buy investment loan. try and get down the nitrogen-rich asteroid or big asteroid. Yeah, I like it. He draws and he sells his steel. Noctis farming, yeah. Nitrogen-rich asteroid, I like it. It does mean we're giving up on big asteroid though, which I think mathematically we had to do anyway. But this gets us 15 back, meaning it costs us an extra 11. I think with investment loan we could have afforded to investment loan big asteroid, NRA, and maybe gotten the value. But he didn't choose to do that. Green's just drawing his cards and magnetizing, which again I don't think is the best, but it's fine. Yellow just one actioning and stalling us out. Be that way. Okay, media group, that's fine. Okay, Earth Catapult. This is green not reading the tempo right, in my opinion. Like, Earth Cat's a great card, and he does get it for a good discount, but he still has paid 21 mega credits for 2 points, and he needs to now play other cards in order to make up that difference. I would say he needs to play at least 7 cards to really justify the Earth Cat here, and having just 6 cards in hand doesn't seem like that's too likely. And with the plant prod being what it is between red and yellow, I don't see how you ever have the tempo to get what you need done in time. So I think the Earth Cat's a bit of a mistake there. And yellow just plays standard tech, so yellow's definitely looking to just end the game here. But the SP a city? Okay. I think the SP city is a bit crazy myself. You already have plenty of spots around your city here. We don't really need more. I get you have standard tech, you get 4 back and 3 back, so 7 discount, but it's still not good enough. I think that's not good. Okay, we get bushes and algae down, so our plant prod's great, but too little too late here. Green plays farming, that's a great card, that's why I'd have taken it previously. Yellow converts where I thought they should have converted all that time ago anyway. Green converts, and yeah, you can see end of game rapidly approaching here. Artificial photosynthesis. It's a little dubious, especially for plant prod. Oh, it's so expensive. And wave power, like, yeesh, we're not playing the best cards here to justify that Earth Cat. Predators comes down, and the cows go bye-bye. Another reason why Protected Habs is so good. Yeah, livestock was a little suspect, but you can't know your opponent has the Predators unless you passed it to them. So it's understandable why you played the Predators. But that's going to be painful for green. It looks like that might catapult him to 3rd place, and we'll scrape out with 2nd. And then Sabotage on yellow. Okay, he correctly identified the right source. Sabotage is normally not a card I like in a 3-player game because you're paying 4 mega credits to hurt someone else by 7. And the 3rd player laughs all the way to the bank. So what's the point of that, right? You play it if you draw it for free, perhaps, but to draft it heavily is usually not something I would do in a 3-player game because the negative impact is just not worth it. You're spending too much cash to hurt a 3rd party when the other party's who you need to worry about. Robo Workforce, okay, on 2 production, like, fine. Ain't great. Greenhouses comes down, so get another conversion, which is why I was a little skeptical of the SP City to begin with. It felt like maybe there were ways to end, but I guess not, so it's fine. He plays the virus. Ooh, poor green. Yeah, this is again why Protected Habs is so good in 3-player. It's forcing all of this on him and not on us. Media Archives. Okay, I definitely think they could have found a way to end with all that. But, alright. Medlab. Medlab's kind of weak here. I don't like that play very much. Ed Lab is, 13 mega credits for 4 productions, so you're spending 9 mega credits on a point. Like, that ain't great. 9 for a point's kind of bad. If it helps you towards banker or scientist, then maybe, but Oh, look, more garbage. Yeah, it's all garbage. This is terrible. I think you take insulation, but it's all garbage. Yeah, carbonate, yeah, whatever. It literally doesn't matter. We're passing to green. Nitro Moss doesn't do anything. I would just take the cheap power and fueled for Immigrant City. Remember how I said that magnetic field generator seemed like a pipe dream to me? Yep, our power woes have definitely stuck around all game. Never was playable. Mining Expedition, I guess. Don't think you're playing that, even with Media Group. The game's just ending with our 2 greeneries here. So we don't need help on the oxygen track. So just fueled for me. Okay, it doesn't take fueled either. I think that's a mistake, but fine. We just convert around our city. Yeah. Wait, we funded Miner instead of getting the last TR? Don't think that's worth it. Look at our opponent. Our opponent is not that far off of Miner either, right? They're currently beating us on Miner, and we're missing out on getting a TR against them. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Green plops down the city, sure. Mangrove, that's a great mangrove, and he takes the last TR there. Industrial Center is now blocking off our access to the steel, that thing that we were kind of probably counting on for Miner. So, yeah, that's far too risky of an award when we're so poor and we had just TR available for us. So, big mistake. Our opponent draws. We draw Martian Rails. Well, it would have been fantastic a few gens ago. Not so good here. Great Dam, sure. We're having to pay all cash because we funded Miner, which is not what you do when you really need your minerals to do anything. Green says he's done. He just wants the TR. Can't blame him. We can Immigrant City for 2 points. Seems fine. We do it there. I guess that's 2 points for the conversion. So, okay. I'd have done it there, though, and that way you can convert between your cities for another extra point there. But you have a conversion down here, too, so it's fine. Still magnetizing, still livestocking, but then the Predators just eats it. Now we're forced to play building industries with all cash. We still can't even spend our steel because of this Miner fund. This is so brutal. And we're still, like, only ahead by 1. All he has to do is use Immigrant City once and he's got it. Or place a tile down here on 2 steel and he has it. It's painful. Green does the insects. There's nothing better to do than standard greeneries, which is why I think the Earth Cat was not good enough. He didn't really play enough to justify that tempo hit, in my opinion. But I don't think it was terrible either. It's just fine. Advanced Ecosystems, a 5-point bomb that also gives him 3 plants to knock it out. Yeah, pretty good. And now just SPing greeneries. Tundra farming, why not? It's, like I said, yellow was always crushing this game with their setup. And then the 2 steel, yeah, so now we're losing Miner. Great. So we get 1 greenery between our cities, which is nice. Green gets their points. And time for the tallies. And it is a tie game between green and red for second place, with yellow taking the clear win. And it looks like 43 to 66, so green wins on the tiebreaker. So we get last place here for this game. So, what can we take away from this game? One is you need to roll with the tide, so or ride the wave, however you want to say it. When you saw that they were going engine, you kind of needed to go engine yourself. So I think AI Central was probably the keep at that point over the GIA, but we already kind of dug ourselves into a hole by getting too much minus prod that we were kind of unable to play anything, which really hurt us a lot. The dev center was just a massive mistake, and I think you should always spec on mining area as mining guild just to try and get your production up. Aside from that, I talked about the rest of the mistakes, but there's not too much else to say. I think the AI Central just allowed him to get all the cards he needed for an easy win here, and Green had some good stuff going on, but ultimately, just not quite enough sauce. Even with the -4, it just came on too late, and he didn't quite have the card draw to support it. And we just didn't get the production going that we needed at all. And I think going for the mayor really hurt us in overstretching for a milestone when we had to delay and not even play those 2 cards that we kept all that time ago. Imagine we have the solar wind power instead of the big asteroid, which we can play to get power for Dev Center, and lets us play the AI Central because we have the 3 science tags and blah 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 blah. You can see how it would have cascaded to a completely different game. But anyway, so this was a 3-player game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you like these, and if you want to see more of them, or if the 2-player is where it's at for you guys. I'm happy to discuss either. But one final thing to note is awards in more than 2-player games are 5 and 2, which makes that makes the minor fund even more ill-advised, because it's only a net of 3 points against yellow here, and you don't even win that. So we spent 14 on 2 points. So it's not really something you should be rushing to fund necessarily if you have better plays like getting the TR from the greenery there. Just that one swing right there of us converting would have been the difference for second place. So don't overvalue awards in more than 2-player games. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.